What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and I'm being joined here today with
Gersh1.
And today we're back to answer more questions from you guys in another installment of a thing we like to call For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. And that question comes from
Boss Hun 9. His question says, out of the Chaos deities, Nurgle, Slaanesh, Khorne, and Tzeentch, has there ever been any warp being stronger than all four of them, or something strong enough to wipe them out? Basically, is there anything stronger than the Chaos gods?
Yeah. And so far, not really.
Right.
The Emperor can defend himself, but I think it's more of like a running away type of thing. He even had to disguise himself in order to talk to Tzeentch, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe the Emperor will become strong enough, or his apotheosis into godhood might make him... I don't think he'll be stronger than them. If anything, he'll be up there, same level.
Yeah.
Meaning that if Chaos wanted to and they all teamed up, they probably could take the Emperor out.
Yeah.
But it won't be an easy one, because again, you've got the Army of the Lights, the Saints, Space Marines, and whatnot. So the Emperor does have a lot backing him up. If something like that were to happen.
Yeah.
But again, this is an unknown. This is a theory, a what-if scenario. Mm-hmm. Or who knows, maybe the Emperor would become stronger than all of them once he falls in real, what do they call it? In the material plane, and then he's stronger in the immaterium.
Yep. And then tagging along with like the whole theory thing, there is also a theory that like the Necrons might be able to do something to the actual Chaos Gods because they're starting to do, they're basically trying to erect pylons that nullify warp.
Noctilith, Blackstone.
Yeah, so if they use that somehow, they used it during the War in Heaven and they hurt the old ones who are psychically powerful. Maybe they can hurt the Chaos Gods in more of a like a real way than humanity has been doing. Because obviously you have Space Marines that like shoot at like demons, which are the smaller versions of the gods,
Right.
And they can kill them, but who knows, this Noctilith might do something else.
Right, because we've seen how Blackstone can basically work almost like if you've got like a wound, and that wound is like a portal into the immaterium.
Yep.
The Noctilith basically shuts it down, kind of like suturing or sewing, like a cut.
Yep.
So it works in that kind of way. We saw that with like the pylons on Cadia. So potentially, if the Necrons aren't able to destroy the Chaos Gods outright, I feel like they could at least contain them or trap them in some kind of prison.
Yeah, so that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what GW does with the whole pylons and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the Silent King.
Yes, now that the Silent King's coming back, that leads a slew of theories to come out of that.
Unfortunately, like I feel that GW does this with a lot of like the bad factions, the non-imperial factions, because I think they did it with the Tyranids. They made the Tyranids sound so like evil and bad, and then they were like, wait, hold on, no, let's go to Chaos. Now let's make Chaos evil and bad. And it's like, no, hold on, let's now do Necrons. So, but it seems like they just jumped from one to the other, and we still haven't gotten an answer of like, why isn't more attention being paid to the Tyranids? It's not like the Tyranids went away when the Cicatrice Maledictum opened up.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on with that? But yeah.
They'll get their 2 seconds of fame once they get their Codex in 9th edition.
Yeah.
Because they kind of did talk about it in a roundabout way with the orcs on the Octavius sector.
Yeah.
And like the Krieg and all that stuff going on. But they focused on those 2 armies. Now eventually they'll go back to the Tyranids.
Yeah. Next question comes from Magos Dominus. What new faction would you guys like to see in 40K?
Straight up new?
Yeah.
Dark Mechanicus.
Yeah.
It's new because we don't have it, but it's like just taking the Mechanicus, the Skitarii, and making them Chaos. There's already a ton of lore, a ton of images, a lot of like people that have sculpted their own models for the Dark Mechanicus, and it's a very easy way to include something that's already been established heavily in the lore.
And since we've seen that GW is like paying attention to like what's going on YouTube because they've been canceling all those animators, GW, if you're listening right now, like that is an instant buy for any Adeptus Mechanicus player. So even just creating the codex alone, just create the codex, and all of a sudden you can proxy, you can proxy a tech priest to be like a Dark Magos. Like it's so easy.
Yeah, the thing is, GW doesn't like proxy. They've actually, if there isn't a model for a unit, it
Yeah.
is not going to be in the codex.
No. I mean, like, because a tech priest can just say he's worshiping chaos.
It's chaos, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because like, it's almost like
You could put out one kit and make it be used for two factions.
It's like the Gene Stealers. When you guys took out the Gene Stealer stuff, if you're an Imperial Guard player, you could play Gene Stealers. Like, it's the same models, exact same models. The only difference were like the what were they? They were like little like
The aberrants.
yeah, I think so. Oh no, well, there's that came on later, but I'm talking about like the little industrial machines turned into like war engines, whatever they're called.
Yeah, those things.
Yeah, but yeah, do it, GW. That's a good faction. I would get behind that. I would also like to see some type of like auxiliary force or some type of mercenary force where you can throw in demons. You could throw in like a bunch of characters from Blackstone Fortress, Necromunda. Like, how awesome would it be if you can like bring in not a kill team, but like an entire gang, a hive gang from Necromunda, and play it in 40K, because you have this like almost, I mean, it's codex obviously, but it's just like a catch-all terms for like all of your other little miniatures that are scattered across different little areas. That would be nice.
Yeah, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't think any of this would ever happen,
sadly.
Yeah, because it's not Space Marines.
Yeah. Next question.
This one's by Timothy Armstrong. Do you guys think that EMP, electromagnetic pulse type of weapons, would work on the Men of Iron or the Necrons? I don't think it'll work on the Necrons, because it's not like they're using like technology or like radio waves or that kind of thing to actually man, pilot, and control those type of units. Men of Iron, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is human technology after all. So, yeah.
But yeah, Necrons, no, because that's different. And it's very ancient, very different type of technologies.
Physics bending almost.
Yeah.
Next question comes from Tin Man 40,000. Do you guys think that the Necrons are still hiding some super weapon? If so, which or what do you guys think we will see next? Of course. Yeah.
For sure. I thought that each faction was going to get some kind of Titan style like super weapon or unit. That kind of went away, but I always think they could at least redo that and come back with something akin to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do have that Necron construct from Forge World, so if you do want to play something, that's probably the go-to.
Yeah, right now the Necrons, even in the Codex and in their lore, they throw in little hints of like, oh, this dynasty has super weapons that can destroy entire stars, referring to the what is it called? I always forget the name of the machine.
Celestial
World
Orrery?
Engine. That one too. So there's that one, but then there's like the World Engine. And then just recently I did a 40 facts, I think, on the Nilak dynasty. So they actually have a seer's head, which allows them to peer into the future. And they've weaponized it, obviously, because why wouldn't you? You're the Necrons.
It's 40K. Everything's a weapon.
Yeah. So there's just so many different like weapon possibilities that they can come out with. And you're starting to see it in the Codex with their, what are they, the things you spend command points for?
Stratagems.
Stratagems, there you go. Which, just out of curiosity, how many of you guys who play the tabletop actually read the little description, excuse me, the description of like a weapon or the description of an actual stratagem? I rarely do.
Really?
Yeah.
No, that's what I go to first.
The lore portion?
Yeah, I like seeing the lore, and I'm like, okay, now how are they going to translate that to fit in the tabletop?
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't translate very well. Other times it's like, oh my god, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other times it's just like, this makes no sense. How does this mechanic even translate into what this does?
Sounds cool, though.
Yeah. This next question is by Joe Nando. Corn or flour tortillas?
Corn for me.
Yeah.
All the time.
It's always been corn, whether it be quesadillas, tacos, anything,
yeah. But I think that's regional.
Right.
So there is a lot of, like even in Oaxaca, they have a different type of tortilla. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, it's kind of cool. That's why it was always weird, because like when I first came to the U.S. and we went to Taco Bell, That was a culture shock. Like, these
hard,
are not... Yeah.
hard shell tacos, what?
Then you get a burrito, and that's also flour. So it's
Yeah.
just like, what? But yeah.
I've even had quesadillas, but instead of like tortillas, it was nopales.
Oh, okay. I've had that now as I've gotten older. That's a completely different taste.
It is, yeah.
Did you like it?
It was okay. I wasn't expecting it, but it was good.
Yeah. Next question.
Now, this one is by The Big One. So how do people in the 40K universe get their clothes clean and fresh smelling? I feel like oftentimes they won't, unless they're like nobility or something of that higher status. Because usually, what's the point of getting your clothes clean if you're just going to be going to a freaking factory or some type of like ministerial building where you're going to be doing the same actions over and over and over again for 16, 20 hours a day?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
What's cool too about the whole concept of the Imperium is that there's so many different worlds that the possibilities are endless. So like on a pleasure world, obviously everybody's gonna be normal. On a civilized world, you have like hive cities, so you have like the underhive that does that, but the people of the spire and the people of like the regular sections of the hive, they might have like some type of thing. But then you have feudal societies where it's like olden days, and it's like the movie The Green Knight.
Yeah.
How did they get clean? They didn't. Walking around in their must and confusing ass giants just walking around.
Yeah. They talk like foxes?
Oh yeah, talking foxes.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that thing either.
It's just nature legit talking to him. It's all an allegory. Allegory?
Allegory?
Allegory.
Allegory.
There you go.
This question comes from Tommy Falcon.
Hey.
If Space Marines don't poop and the Custodes are not Space Marines, the Custodes poop? Yes.
It's very regal, and it has like golden flakes on it.
Yeah, it's also very documented. If you actually pick up the Adeptus Custodes Codex, there's an entire page dedicated to the pooping process or pooping schedule of an Adeptus Astartes.
Defecation.
Yeah, Custodes.
Yeah, custodes. Adeptus defecation is what they call it.
Yeah, it's cute.
Rome Lazo. How big are orcs compared to normal humans?
Because they slouch,
Yeah.
they are about 8 to 9 feet tall.
Well, because it depends too. Obviously, if you're talking about like a war boss, are Gretchen are considered orcs, right?
They're orcoids.
Yeah.
But yeah, like a standard orc is about 9 or 8 to 9, and then they're slouching, so then 6 feet tall. And then their arms drag on the floor.
Think of them as like silverbacks, just bigger.
Exactly, yeah. Next question.
This one is by Tim Orange. What will the galaxy look like when it is conquered by one of the 4 major chaos gods? I actually don't think that's going to happen. I don't feel like chaos would conquer the whole galaxy for many reasons. One, the other chaos gods won't let that happen. It's all going to be just a big wheel trying to figure out who's going to be like taking control of this part and that part, and it's just going to be a big fight.
Yeah.
Two, it's all about the Space Marines and the Imperium. The writers probably won't make it go that way, even though it's supposed to be grim, dark, and whatnot.
Yep.
I don't see that happening. And lastly, I don't think it's going to happen because chaos needs to have enemies. They can't just prosper and keep getting stronger if everything is chaos controlled. They have to find people to convert. They have to find beings capable of producing emotion, thought, that kind of thing, so that the gods can strengthen them. So, and they need to find something to fight and farm and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, it's gonna be challenging.
yeah.
But like you could also just check out their realms in the chaos or in the warp. That's probably what they're going to try to turn reality into. So the Gardens of Nurgle, the Labyrinth of Zinj, Slaanesha's Sex Dungeon, a.k.a. the Cerberus in Chicago. Is it Cerberus?
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 Yeah.
Next question.
Mirrors on the ceiling.
Yeah.
I got one that kind of ties in with that. First level druid. Are there any instances at all of romantic love in either 30 or 40K between any Astartes or between Astartes and non-Astartes? And I mean actual love, not familial or love of a saint, battle brother, etc.
Nothing I've come across.
There's fanfics that kind of touch base on this. Even like 4 or 5 years ago when we first started doing this, I clearly remember an image of like a sister of battle giving like a rose to a Grey Knight or something like that. And like that every time I think of like love in 40K, that's what my mind jumps to.
Yeah. What happened next though is that the Grey Knight just punched her in the face. But GW had to take that out because, you know, times were changing.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just punch Sisters of Battle in the face like that.
Right. And Grey Knights don't exist. So who was she actually giving it to?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Weird.
Grey Knights, what's that?
This next question comes from Isaac Langdon. What is your plan B for when GW comes for you? I'm probably going to open up an OnlyFans. I've talked about this before, but yeah, subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Yeah. I don't know, I'll just take a big break. It'd be nice to just relax and not think about videos for a while.
Yeah. Sleep.
There's a thing called sleep.
Mm-hmm. Next question.
Tommy Falcon. Are there ever examples of 2 or 3 of the Chaos Gods granting their blessings to a single individual? Like a Chaos sorta undivided, except for that one god? Not really. The biggest and probably only instance of this is Be'lakor, the first demon prince, which kind of tricked the 4 Chaos Gods into all of them giving their power to him. And they found out that, hey, we shouldn't be doing that, because then he becomes too powerful and it's too much to control and whatnot.
Yeah. He's a pain in the ass to the Chaos Gods, but just remember that he's not strong enough to kill one of them.
Right.
Just because we're in the same conversation, same video, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Be'lakor is amazing. Like, he got a new model, new rules. He got his own psychic discipline, his own rules for both demons and Chaos Space Marines following him. It's really cool. You should take a look at it. Very, like, shadow orientated and using fear, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
His lore is also pretty good too. How he was basically seen as like gods for all these ancient civilization and planets, and pretty much wherever he went, that civilization prayed to him, built statues in his image and whatnot. And it's crazy how much a single dude can like influence whole planetary sectors.
Yep.
And the Adeptus Mechanicus were actually researching this.
He has really cool lore, and his model is amazing.
Yes.
This next question comes from Brian B. Can the Emperor look into a navigator's third eye? He can yank on it and then just pop it out. But yeah, he's that powerful.
Mm-hmm.
He stares into the warp every single day. He is the Astronomicon, basically.
Yeah.
So he's powerful.
Psycho Mikey. Actually, you guys can watch Dread on Hulu at the moment. I am the law. Thanks.
I forgot about that. Yeah. I should watch that, yeah.
Yeah, because we asked you guys, where can we watch Dread? It's on Hulu, apparently. And if you guys don't know what Dread is, it's basically a Warhammer 40K movie. It talks about, like, what the Arbites, Adeptus Arbites? Arbitrators, yeah.
I even think they're called arbitrators in Dread.
Yeah, they are.
Judge Dread.
Yeah.
There's judge arbitrators, too, I think, in 40K.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they even, like, tried to work with one another, or GW got a lot of inspiration from Dread or something like that.
It is funny though that like GW like low key has just ripped things off. Like
Starship Troopers, Starcraft,
yeah,
Judge Dredd.
There's no way that the crew aren't inspired by the Predator.
Yeah, Tolkien with like the Space Wolves, the Space Dwarves.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's inspired by everything.
But if an animator gets inspired to make an animation, oh no. But yeah. Next question.
J Day, do you ever think one of the main factions in 40K will ever be eliminated, possibly making room for a new faction? I don't think they'll. Well,
they already did with the Inquisition.
Yeah, the Inquisition, the Squats.
They used to have a book, and then now it's just like throw them in like an Imperium catch-all.
Yeah.
Or the Adeptus Custodes. So in the future, could I see that happening for another faction? Maybe. Eldar.
No, I don't think they'll do it for the Eldar, even though that's the one that makes the most sense.
They're ignoring the Eldar. They're just like, yeah, no. We're going to throw like 1 or 2 models, but no.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess it's probably because nobody's buying.
Right.
Yeah.
But nobody's buying it because GW isn't updating it, giving it new rules, making it competitive.
It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
And the only way you could break it is to give us new models.
Yeah.
Maybe. And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for listening. We really appreciate it. And we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Yeah. As always, this has been The Sound Alchemist.
Gershwan.
And we are out.
Oh, if you could put my freedom